We have our next speaker for the day. I would like to present before you Mr. DORAIRAJ Kupurangam. He has 50 years of work experience in agriculture in various fields of activity in 1968 onwards, and with the first 3 years in the Department of Agriculture in Tamil Nadu and Agriculture Extension Officer as an Agriculture Extension Officer, and 30 years in the marketing of agri inputs, of fertilizers, crop care inputs, micronutrients, and biological inputs of Rallis India Limited. And he's also worked as Vice President of Fertilizers at the time in Rallis in 2001, and also with certification of training and activities for he has visited countries like Ethiopia, Ghana, and for project reports for different projects. And also he has established Noble Agro Biotech Private Limited, a seed company in Bangalore. And presently he is as the president of International Competence Center for Organic Agriculture, ICCOA. Yes, I got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for that help. And sir is going to address around about different points that has been mentioned in our flyer. That's what he was very particular about. And without wasting much time, I would like to present before you Mr. DORAIRAJ. Mr. DORAIRAJ Kupurangam, sir. The floor is all yours. We are so very happy to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Dr. Vijay sir, Dr. Sri Vidya ma'am, and then Apurupa, and all the distinguished Professor Bansal, who has given a very good lecture, and all the distinguished speakers who are waiting here. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, the organizers. The main point I was going to talk is about promoting more inclusive and sustainable agro-food GVCs. That's a topic given to me. First, let us look at the evolving food trade landscape, the world food landscape. The total cultivable area, the whole world is about 1.5 billion hectares. 1.5 billion hectares, which is about 1/3 of the land area of the earth. That is 1.5 billion hectares. In that, we are producing goods worth of food products worth of $7.7 trillion US. That is being consumed by all the 8 billion population plus all the cattle which they are rearing. And that's a way we have been doing agriculture business. And then 45% of the 8 billion population is totally dependent on agricultural profession. Anything that happens to agriculture, this very heavy amount of people will be affected. This is the world situation about agricultural production. And now there is a new segment which is emerging. That is the organic food segment. This organic food segment is about 20 years old. From 2000 onwards, from US, it has taken a shape, and then now the total sales of organic food at the moment is about $188 billion US. $188 billion is the total value of organic food sold in the world. Out of that, 60 billion is consumed only by USA. They are the number one consumer of organic food. Next comes European Union, which is about $50 million. Then comes China and various other countries. India is having about 140 million hectares of cultivable land, but just about 4 million hectares we have now covered under organic certification. About 4 million hectares. From that, we are exporting about $1 billion worth of organic food outside. That contains not only food, fiber, and beverages. All put together, it's about $1 billion. Out of the total $188 billion world trade, our contribution is just about $1 billion. That may be because, although we have very large, net area cultivated, almost equal to China. We are number one or number two between China and India. In spite of it, all are smallholders, and most of them are naturally, they are going into organic farming only. Very large farmers are not using much chemicals and all that, but they have not got the certification. Only the certified organic products are traded across the world. So that is one thing. So there are quite a number of people who have not yet been certified, and they are all waiting to join the bandwagon. Now, why this sudden spurt in organic food? Last 20 years, people have been talking about organic food. That is because of health problems. People have heard about chemical, pesticide and herbicide, what is the harm that is causing to them and their families and all that. Then chemical fertilizers, what kind of damage it is doing to the soils of the world. And then the synthetic hormones which are being used. And then antibiotics, genetic modifications, irradiation, and biocontaminants like aflatoxin, E. coli. These are all things which are coming into our food supply chain, and it is causing health problems to people. So instead of going to the hospitals and spending lakhs of rupees, people would love to prevent these diseases by avoiding them and then taking care of their health. That is why after the pandemic, it has triggered such a big, jump, and people have started using healthy food and then food that is give good stamina and all that. Chemical pesticides and herbicides are very dangerous. These we are now selling in India about, totally our production is about 60,000 crores. Out of 60,000 crores, 30,000 crores we are exporting to other countries. We use 30,000 crore worth of pesticides. That includes fungicides, insecticides, herbicides and everything. All these things put together, part of it goes into our tomatoes and potatoes and chilies and brinjal and everything. We unknowingly we consume everything. We don't get killed immediately. It takes about 5 years, 10 years or 15 years, depending upon your resistance. It all goes and deposits on the parts of various organs in your body, and later on it gives some kind of problem, kidney failure, and then even cancer. And all these things are caused by these kind of pesticides, herbicides, and various other things, and people would like to avoid that. Then chemical fertilizers, how do they damage? See, in soil, there are huge number of microbes. The microbes are the ones which is giving us so much nutrients to our crops. Although we think that chemical fertilizers like urea, DAP and potash and various other things are giving nutrients, that is all recently, about 40-50 years we have been using that. Before 50 years, all these chemical fertilizers were not there, and still we were growing crops and we were still getting our grains and fruits and vegetables, everything. Only difference is that we are getting little more and little bit conveniently. The convenience and little bit extra yield. But that extra yield has got a cost. That cost is our health. These chemical fertilizers, when they go into the soil, they may also reduce the population of the microbes. The microbes, what they do is, they collect the nitrogen from the air and then feed into the soil. There are certain microbes which are bringing the phosphoric acid, they solubilize this and feed it to the crop. And then there is another bacteria which will mobilize the potash and bring it to the crop. Although the soil has got all this nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, magnesium, everything is there, but plant cannot directly take it. It requires somebody to feed it. For example, if I keep before you a plate of rice, dal, oil, chili powder, salt, everything, and eat your lunch, if I say, you will not eat it. Somebody has to cook it properly and then give it, and then only it will be palatable and you will be able to digest it, assimilate it. So in the same way, in the soil, everything is available, but it is the microbes which has to do the job of converting that into the nutrient and giving it. When you apply chemical fertilizers, number one, it may reduce the population of these microbes. How much microbes are there in the soil? In a fertile soil, if the soil is very fertile and it has got, fertile means it should have at least 1% organic matter in that soil. There are about, in a gram of soil, about 10 crores microbes. So much of microbes are there and they are all working. Since we have not seen it through our eyes, we don't believe it. But it is all there. If you through your microscope, you will see all these bacteria and all that. So these kind of bacteria are all reduced by application of chemical fertilizers. Apart from that, chemical fertilizers also make the soil very hard, and extra nitrogen and phosphate goes and pollutes your water bodies, like your open water or water under the soil. Everything is polluted because of excess fertilizers. And then comes the synthetic hormones. Sometime back in Europe, there was hue and cry when RBGH is a hormone, recombinant bovine growth hormone. These hormones, when they are injected into the cows, you can get some extra milk. Just for that extra milk, they wanted to inject this kind of hormones, and out of pain and pleasure, problems, they have given extra milk. And over the time, it also affected their health, and even the pus came out of the udder. When they were milking, when they saw pus in the milk, people were alarmed. This is the greediness. When you put so much strain on the animals through the hormones and all that, this is also not wanted by the organic consumers. Antibiotic is another thing. You take chicken or egg or meat or whatever it is, a lot of antibiotics is very widely used. For example, in our case, when we get sick, when we go to the doctor, he gives a antibiotic pill or an injection or something like that when you get sick. But in the case of animals, it is a daily dose of antibiotics. As though as a growth promoter, they give it to all the chicken in their feed or in the water. Every day they are fed. And when these things go into their system, the body converts all these bacteria as resistant bacteria. This is resistant to antibiotics. These things, when you eat afterwards, your body also get the antibiotic resistant bacteria and all that. And your doctor, when he gives you a dose of antibiotic, doesn't work. So these kind of dangers people want to avoid. That's why they wanted organic thing. GMOs. Professor has said very nicely about the technological improvement about genetic modifications. Yes, of course, I'm also a student of agriculture science. I always adored and I always respected scientific developments and all that. It's all going on, but still a lot of organic farmers suspect that it has not got a long-term outlook. In a very short term, they are thinking and they are doing. That's how they blame. But I'm not convinced. I'm with Professor Bansal, and then I'm still not fully convinced. But the organic regulations in United Nations and the European Union, they have all banned use of genetic crops in organic farming. In organic farming, it's not allowed. So this has to be convinced. I'm very sure that in India, I have seen, when I was working in Rallis, India, I have sold a lot of pesticides and fertilizers on cotton. And I have seen how much of pests are attacking them and all that. When Monsanto's cotton came into existence, this BT cotton, there was bollworm, is what he was telling, 3 bollworms are there, green and then, Heliothis and then pink bollworm. All these things were affecting and they were giving a lot of problems. And when bollworm, BT cotton came, they were able to control much, and then they got very good yield also. When our farmers used to get 6 to 7 quintals of cotton, they were able to get 10 to 12 quintals of cotton and all that. And it was a boon for many cotton farmers. That is why at that point of time, there were only 9 million hectares of cotton in India. out of 140 million total area, only 9 million, and 9 million has become 12 million, and out of 12 million, 98% is genetic cotton only. People are convinced, where they are convinced, they will take over. But in the case of food crops, that is fiber crop. Although there is a little bit of cotton is used for oil and also, but mainly it is a fiber crop. Whereas when we are talking about rice, wheat, vegetables and all that, it is food crop. This is where people are afraid that whether it will cause some kind of harm, whether it will be safe, whether the scientists have taken full control over the all parameters. These are all things where genetic modification also is a problem for organic farmers. Irradiated food also has caused a lot of problems, and they don't want irradiation in organic food. And biocontaminants like E. coli, aflatoxins, these are all common in storage products and all that. So all these things have triggered the hope for organic food. People wanted to be healthy. They wanted to take care of their family and their close ones and all that, and that's why this market is growing. At the moment, I told you, world over about $188 billion worth organic food is consumed, and then it is growing. In USA, it is growing at the rate of 10%, and in Europe, it is growing at 15%, and in India, it is growing at the rate of 23%. Because we do not consume much organic food in India, but there is a lot of export opportunities, mainly for spices, and then a lot of oil seeds, soybean, and various other things are being exported from India, and they get good money on that. But I'm sorry, I'm going to get some problem with my computer. I think I might stop with this because I have some problem with my computer. With this, I would like to close it. In another occasion, if you have, we will talk more. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. That was quite informative. And I think you have covered almost all our pointers today, starting from the evolution of food trade landscape and the patterns of agro-food GVCs, shares and growth of total agro-food value traded in GVC, that also we have talked about, benefiting from GVC's participation, like how we can contribute to the global economy, that also we have touched a little bit, and the factors that influence the agro-food GVC participation, that also we have taken into consideration. And moreover, like last but not the least, the shares about agricultural workforce being employed in the agro-food GVC, that also we have taken into consideration during your presentation. Thank you so much, sir. It was quite insightful, quite informative, and thanks for being here. It was a great pleasure having you here. And there was one other question more related to your field. That's why I'm registering it so fast. Sorry about it. What's your opinion about genetically engineered crops? Does it change our lifestyle?
I told you I have in two minds. As a student of science, I appreciate all the genetic modifications done, because if there are some crops suffering through, various issues, they have found solutions. That is okay. But what is amongst the mind of the organic growers is that there is a fear. That fear has to be removed. That like in soybean, Roundup Ready soybean in USA, what they have done is they have put a gene from hazelnut or Brazil nut. Brazil nut gene has been brought into soybean, and from soybean they extract oil. So far they have been consuming soybean oil, nothing happened. But when Roundup Ready soybean oil was used by some consumers, they got allergies in their body. This is, the report. I can't authenticate reports in the US journals and all that, that there is allergies. This allergic symptom has appeared because of the hazelnut, not because of soybean. But hazelnut gene has been put into soybean, that's why it is coming. Like that, they are considering number of crops. For example, strawberry has got frost problem in United States. They want to arrest that and save the crop from frost. For that, they are bringing a gene from a fish in the Arctic Ocean. From Arctic Ocean, the fish is able to tolerate the freezing temperatures. So why don't you bring that gene and put it into the strawberry and tomato and all that? These are all the stories going around. It is the job of these companies to sort out the issues and say that there is nothing much dangerous. People think that there is going to be a long-term effect on human beings, animals, and plant kingdom if it is not checked properly. That is the thing I hold at the moment. I am not totally against Dr. Bansal's statement, but these are all some of the issues to be thrashed out.
This question is from Mr. Hamid Rasool, who says that is it better and why we graft with other plants as it is against the future? That's against the nature.
Grafting is just an exercise. Grafting, hybridization, this is all allowed, and it is all like we are having intercaste marriages and all that. That's how it is done. But genetic modification is bringing a gene from another species totally. That is not worthwhile. That's what they say.
And also, sir has registered a point there. Use of artificial gases for ripening the fruit. Are we for it?
It is ethane. For ethylene, for example, if you are using, it's not wrong because your banana bunch is ripening because of ethylene only. Naturally, emitted ethylene is ripening. One row of banana ripes and then it emits ethylene. That ripens the next row, fingers. Like that only, naturally it happens and you can use that. That's not a problem. But ripening mango through calcium carbonate, that's wrong. That will cause a lot of ailments.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for answering those questions very patiently. Thank you so much. It is a very great pleasure having you here. And thanks for sharing. Thank you.
I would like to make only one point. Here, it's not a discussion between DORAIRAJ and Professor Bansal or something like that. I, as a student of science, I already told that I admire this genetic technology. Yes. I always liked it.
There's one more question to be added with, I think that's for Mr. DORAIRAJ. Sir, your question? India is doing natural organic farming, but due to lack of standard information and knowledge, farmers are not able to progress.
Yes.
And moreover, lack of interest of government agricultural officers, that's going on negative. Let's leave the second part of the question. But this is what is the thing. Talking about organic farming, due to lack of standard information and knowledge, farmers are not able to register. So kindly infer on that, sir. Thank you so much.
Because there are organic standards which specify the seed has to be like this, the chemical fertilizer, the nutrient has to be from plant, animal or microbial source only, nowhere else. And then crop protection also has to be from these three sources only. Like that, a lot of standard rules are there. Farmers are not aware of that. So quite a number of training programs have to be conducted and we have to manage them. There are now clusters being formed. FPOs are there, farmer producer organizations. Organic clusters are made now. These organic clusters are all being trained. So if we give enough training, they will understand. But now there is a lot of confusion in the organic sector also. I must bring it out to you. There are three verticals in organic farming. There is one NPOP, that is National Program of Organic Farming. That is one standard. That is 2001. It was announced by the Government of India. We are following it. Only those people who are certified under NPOP can export it to other countries. So exportable products have to undergo NPOP certification. The next one, Agriculture Department has got one certification system called PGS, Participatory Guarantee System. Through that system, in a village, there are about 5 to 10 farmers. They can join together, form a small cluster, and they can tell the local council that we would like to have organic farming, and we will inspect ourselves. one farmer will go and inspect the other farmer will inspect his farm, like that, self-assessment. But they will all declare that they will take a oath that we will always do the organic farming only. They will just sign and give it. Through that, they are selling. That is accepted only for the local markets. They can also involve the local traders also to come and inspect their field so that there is no non-organic activities taking place. So this is one system. And the third system, recently what has been happening in India is the natural farming system. The natural farming system and organic agriculture, there is one important variation. In organic system, we are allowed to use farm resources like cow dung, cow urine, leaf, crop residues, compost, vermicompost, everything we can use. Plus, we can also supplement it with biofertilizers made from the laboratories and all that. Biofertilizers, biopesticides, we can buy and use it. There are also botanicals like neem extract, neem oil, neem kernel extracts, azadirachtin, all those things, if it is organically certified, we can bring it and use it. Those things were allowed in organic farming because crop protection is a major challenge for organic farmers. Organic farmers can enrich his soil easily, but to protect it from neighboring farmers, because 2% farmer may be organic, 98% are non-organic. They are all spraying. Their insects may come and sit in your field. So how are you going to protect it? So there is quite a lot of danger in organic farming. That is why he would like to have some additional protection through biofertilizers, biopesticides, neem, and various other purchased insecticides. But in today's latest farming technique, that is the natural farming technique, they say that only on-farm resources should be used. You should not buy anything from outside. That's good because one way it is sustainable. You will not spend money, zero budget farming, that's what they say. But that is not practical. Even amongst organic farmers, there is a division now. So what is right? This is kind of confusion happening. So quite a number of, this kind of questions will come even amongst farmers. How are we going to do that? What is the right one? They will ask. We have to answer all those things.
So there is one more. How are we, sir? Sorry. So self first. That means whatever we produce, let the country use it first. Means naturally grown for the local consumption.
Yes.
But by labeling organic, we are deprived of the various foods being available at cost effective.
Because you are labeling it as organic, you are depriving the non-organic food, is it?
In the sense like it is not quite available, means it is being exported immediately. When you say organic, instead of getting available to the local consumption, to the local market.
No, that is also available for local consumption. The NPOP certified products are also in big demand by the retail chains in India. The more Reliance Retail, all these people are buying first. Only part of it is going exported, not all.
But of course, we need to expand. Definitely, we should. Because that was the motivation is available for both. From Mr. Manoj Zalwar. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure having you all. We have come towards the end of the session. Now we open it for the floor for other peoples to just ask questions, or you can register your insights if anybody would like to.
My question with DORAIRAJ.
Yes.
Is there any special seeds for the increasing yield in the organic farming?
No. For increasing yield, there is nothing. What we, in organic, what they say is, means, it should not be treated with chemicals. That's the only rule they put. It has to be a native seed, anything that can tolerate the local weather and soil, which is adaptable to the local thing. We are trying to avoid diseases. That is our main purpose. To avoid
Dr. Venkat Reddy, sorry if I can come in.
Yeah.
Dr. Venkat Reddy, you have asked a very good question. And there are no seeds.
Yes.
You know what you are asking is a question which scientists must answer, and those organically favored farmers, they must also know it. You know what? today, all varieties of any crop which are being developed by crop breeders, they are high yielding varieties, right? That's why they're breeding them. High yielding under optimum conditions of management. What do I mean by that? That you give enough water, you give enough fertilizers, you give enough agrochemicals, whatever they are required. Because our objective is to produce more.
Yeah.
Now, in the seed chain, where will the farmers get those varieties? Which are the varieties in the market? These are the high yielding varieties in the market. And if these varieties are grown by organic farmers and they are being deprived of in the name of organic,
No, sir.
less fertilizer, wait a minute, I'll come to that.
Okay.
Or organic manure, which is good. I'm not against organic farming, I said. But point is, do we have, as Dr. Venkat Reddy very rightly asked, some varieties which will respond more and will give high yield under those conditions? We don't have.
No.
Well, we have, but they're less yielding. Before Green Revolution, before high yielding varieties came into being, we have those, of course, traditional varieties, farmers' varieties, but they're not high yielding. That's
the answer, Dr. Reddy. Actually, there is no specific seed, high yielding seed for organic. There is only seed for organic, which can prevent diseases and pests, which can tolerate the local weather and the soil condition. That's the kind of thing. Plus, it should not be treated with chemical pesticides while sowing. That's only. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. And definitely, I think though it was it started as a chat session, then it went as a brainstorming session, as if we were picked up few more pointers, which are just not mentioned in the list as well. Definitely, it is a wonderful thing having you all here.